Welcome back to Sofa Digs, everyone. Happy Easter. And yes, I do look like a sort of, I don't know, Darth Leia. I don't even know. Yes, happy Easter on a rather miserable Easter Monday. But I'm not going to moan because this is definitely what we needed. We definitely needed some rain because the ground has been awful to dig in. First of all, apologies, I have not uploaded in a couple of weeks. I have actually been out digging with groups and on my permission ones, but I've just found nothing. Absolutely bugger all. So I'd rather not bore you with my lack of finds. However, I'm not going to be able to get out now for at least 2 weeks, so I may mush all my content together with the finds that I did get that are half decent, and I might upload that video. Have you noticed that YouTubers, when they have times like I'm having at the moment where they're not finding anything, they label it real metal detecting? Look out for my video called Real Metal Detecting. Anyway, today we are going to test out the XY screen. I haven't used it before, so I've had to do a lot of research, a lot of reading up on the manual, watching YouTube videos. But yeah, I thought we'd see how the XY works, what we're going to look out for, is it accurate, and does it help us determine what our target is before we start digging? Let's find out. So, XY screen, how do we first of all load it onto the system? So, options, down to, I've already gone wrong, it's settings, down to settings, scroll down, into profile. So currently I'm on horseshoe. I'm going to press the plus until I get to the XY screen. Back. There we go. That's what it looks like. So how does the XY screen work? So this bottom left and this top right corner indicate non-ferrous. The top left and the bottom right indicate ferrous items. So what we're looking for is a nice line going bottom left to top right. Anything going this way we're going to ignore. Now I must admit, this is the first time that I'm going to be using this, so I've had to do a lot of research. So small dotty targets indicate depth, so they're really deep and or small. If you've got a massive line, it's quite shallow, and or it's quite a large target. Same with the thickness of the line as well. Also, might I mention, if you go back on to settings, profile, XY, you see this zoom. So let's say you're only getting tiny targets, like tiny dots. If you press zoom and go up to, well, maximum 10, those tiny dots will be bigger because you're showing the screen zoomed in, so to speak. But for the sake of this test, I'm going to leave it at 7. Okay, let's see how it goes. This is 100% an iron target. Now I can hear that because it's just a low iron tone. Oh, what were those birds? I don't know. However, just for showing you what the XY is showing me, you can see it's going from bottom right to top left. So that is indicating it's ferrous, which I can hear that it is. So already it's tallying up with the sound. Good. Here's one. Now if you look in that top left corner, it's a 88 to 90 if you were to go back to the horseshoe and you're wanting numbers. In terms of XY, it's going from the bottom left sort of to the top right. Not a nice diagonal, it's sort of going up and then trailing off along the, is that the x-axis? I can't remember, the x-axis there. But I know by the length and the thickness, it's not too deep. So let's dig it up and see what it is. Okay, the target's out, and as you can see, not too deep, which is what we were expecting. look at that XY. Bottom left to top right, no problem. Right, let's see what it is. Is it that? Okay, it's this. I think it's a bit of bronze. But as of what it was, who knows? It's just a fragment of something. But the XY told us that. Okay, next target. Sounds quite nice. 82, 83, 84. As you can see though, on the XY, the lines are quite small, they're quite centred around the centre. So that's telling me it's going to be deeper than the last target. It's going to be a few inches. It is going from the bottom left to the top right, but it is a bit skew with. So let's dig and see if it clears up a bit. Okay, the target's out. It was a bit deeper than the last one. Roughly 2/3 of a pinpointed depth. Perfect line on the XY, bottom left to top right. So let's see what it is. Oh, is that a coin? I think it is. Oh, brilliant. There we go, folks. Our first coin with the XY. It was telling it was rather deep, not too big. Non-ferrous, and it's a battered coin. What do you reckon? Farthing size, possibly Georgian. Excellent. Now here's one the XY is telling me to dig. Textbook, non-ferrous, quite shallow and or big. Let's see what it is. Lo and behold, not too deep, non-ferrous, and I think that is maybe a steel yard weight. It's got the iron in the well, I think it's got a bit of iron in the top. Look at that for a bit of lead. That is so heavy. That's definitely a weight of some sort. Okay, so the XY screen was dead on there. Excellent. So it's staying around sort of the bottom left to top right, but also the bottom right as well. Sound wise is okay. But it is jumping about all over the shop. Well, I'm glad we've dug it, because that looks like it might be a button. And it is. It's a manky one, but it's a button. That's where the shank would have been. And there we go. Okay. You've really got to concentrate on that screen, haven't you? So even though it was going a bit all over the place, it sort of was controlled around the good areas, but then it wasn't as well. Another lovely sounding target that I've not put the sound on for you. I think it's about 84. Now essentially the XY is going from bottom left to top right. Okay, as you can see, I've dug some out, and let's look at the XY now. Much longer line, indicating it's nearly there. We've nearly got to it. Still a bit jumpy. There you have it. So, the XY was right. It's definitely non-ferrous, it's lead. It was deeper than the other ones, despite me pretty much digging in the wrong place. Okay, here's one. It's a 77. Nearly a perfect 45-degree line. Non-ferrous. Bit jumpy. Okay, so it's a bit jumpy when you just whiz over it, but when you really hone in on target, it really goes to that solid line. What do we reckon? Could this be round? Could this be some, like a button? A coin maybe? Let's find out. You know what, folks? I think it might be either or of the two. Well, it's definitely round. Right, let me see if I can prise this away. There we go. What's that then? Well, it's got a bit of iron there, so I don't know whether it was a button. It's not a bloody shotty end, is it? No, it's not. But it does have that thing in the middle. Potentially a button, I'm not too sure. But, okay, we were able to make a prediction there that was nearly on. I thought it was going to be round, and that's because the line was solid diagonal almost. So okay, I think that might be the case. Well, let's do a few more examples and let's see if that theory is correct. 65, non-ferrous, bit deeper. So let's try that zoom option out. Let's go to, not that setting, options, setting, damn, I went through. It is settings, XY profile zoom. Let's go to 9. Let's see if that XY clears up for us. See how it's not just centered around the middle now? So it's a bit jumpy. So in which case my prediction is something not circular, maybe another strip of lead or a strip of copper or something. Okay, it's out, whatever it is. That line is straightened up certainly, so who knows what shape it is. Let's find out. Oh, there we go. It's a bloody ring pull thing. This one looks potentially promising. Nearly a 45-degree, slightly deep, maybe 5 inches, would you say? I reckon this might be a coin. Well, I couldn't have been more wrong. Look at this. How non-circular can you get? Who knows what that was? Strip of coppery type thing. Okay, odd. Here's a new example. The line is pretty much horizontal, so let's go to zoom. Let's increase to 9. See if it changes. Horizontal all over the shop. It's finally out. It was quite deep. Again, probably like 2/3 of a pinpointer down. XY is jumping between horizontal to all over the shop. So let's see what that means. It's in here, whatever it is. What's this? What's that then? A button? Yeah, it's a little 4-holer. Huh. Okay. So horizontal is okay as well. As long as it's going left to right, I think the target is alright, which is what the manual says and what the YouTube videos say. So they're not talking rubbish. But it's just a bit strange that it was still quite skew with, even when it was out. I've already dug a little plug here, but still. XY is going mental. Just dug some more out. Look at that, the line is right across the top. Now sound wise, it sounds shocking at the minute. So I'd assume that that's falsing on deep iron. And yes, it does. Look at that. Bit of chain. Iron chain there. Okay, so if the XY goes across the top, it's rubbish. Okay folks, I'm going to call it quits on the XY screen for now. I've done 2.5 hours, and to be honest, I don't really see the point in it. That's personal preference. I mean, when I've been digging targets, when I've been looking at the XY, when I've been listening to them, it's all tallied up. The XY has matched what the sound is telling me. There's been no instance today in the past 2.5 hours where that XY screen has told me anything different to what I've heard. So if it's been a deep target, I can hear it because it's more quiet, more wispier. The XY has showed a small blob towards the centre. Again, vice versa. If it's shallow, if it's big, I can hear it and it tallies up with what's on the XY. If a target has sounded a bit crap, the XY has told me that. And again, vice versa. If it sounded good, the XY has told me it. There's been nothing additional that it's given me today. Now I might be completely wrong. You know, this is my first time with it. I was reading up everything last night. I was watching so many YouTube videos out there about it. So if you guys know anything else that it does, please comment. I'm sure you will anyway, telling me so if you're chatting shit is normal. But yeah, I mean, I suppose it's the same with the numbers. You know, when I've had my Deus, I've always had the horseshoe screen. So flip my phone over. I've had the horseshoe screen, which has shown the numbers for the targets. Now, half the time I say, oh, you know, 50, it's going to be aluminium, copper, whatever, and I'm always wrong. There's 10% I'm actually correct. So I suppose it's the same as that. You know, the numbers are good if you like them, but do they tell you anything additionally? Probably not. Actually, no, not probably. No, they don't. It's all in the sound, and we all know that already. So I really think it's up to personal preference if you use the XY or you use the numbers. Personally, I think I'm going to leave it there with the XY screen. Takes me too long to actually see where the line is because my eyesight's crap, and you know, change between the zoom levels, etc. So yeah, personal preference, I think. Oh, excuse all the mud on my face. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I'll see you all on the next video. Bye.